Hey everybody, welcome to Devotionables, some brief devotions for busy people. My name is Derek Riley. I'm a member here at 9th and O, and I'm a teacher for the Intermediate Couple 6 group. Today we're going to be in Galatians 2:20, but the place where we find ourselves, the time of year when we're recording this, is graduation season. Last week I watched my first graduation of the year, and I know that there's going to be more and more to come, as I've got friends who are going to be graduating from high school and college and graduate schools, and even thinking about it starts to conjure up images of people in the regalia and the gowns, and I can hear Pomp Circumstance looping for hours in the back of my brain. But graduation is a moment that we love culturally. It's a moment where we get to recognize people for all of the hard work and dedication that they've put in, all of the time and effort that they've put to earn a diploma, to earn a status and a degree, so that they can say that forever I have this piece of paper that I can frame and put on the wall that says that I have put in the work and I have reached this point. I think in the Christian life, sometimes we wish that we could have graduations and diplomas. Sometimes in our fallenness and our pride, we wish that we had a diploma that we could point to on the wall that says, you've put in the time, you've put in the effort, you've done all of the work so that now you can be called a child of God. But we don't have that. The Christian life isn't about earning. When we get here into Galatians, Paul is writing to a church that had false teachers come in who had been teaching them that the Christian life was about the gospel, yes, but about all of these other things too, and they were adding on to the gospel. In the first few chapters, Paul tells us that when we add anything on to the gospel of Jesus Christ, that we turn it into no gospel at all. And Paul walked through and tells us about the life that he's lived and gives us a CV of where he's been and what he's done. And he tells us that all of his accomplishments, all of his things could not add up to enough. So we come to Galatians 2, verse 20. And Paul says, what is it then that qualifies me as a member of the kingdom of God, as a teacher of the gospel? He says, it's not any of his actions, it's that I have been crucified with Christ. It's no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself up for me. As much as we want graduation moments in the Christian life, Paul tells us that we're never going to earn a diploma. There's no graduation. There's only crucifixion. There's only the obedience of the Christian life. It's the way that we come in to the kingdom of God, and it's the way that we live in the kingdom of God, that we die to ourselves. We die to those parts of our pride and sin that want to earn enough to be worthy of the kingdom. Paul tells us that we have to die to those parts of ourselves. And when we die to them, we're united with Christ in that death. And when we're united with Christ in that death, then we're united with him in his resurrection too. So that who we are as children of God could never be about who we are just as natural people. It can never be about who we were born as, or what we have accomplished, or what we could do, or what culture we're a part of. It's about who Christ is and who we find in him and the security that we have in him. Because if our actions were never enough to earn us a place in the kingdom, then our bad actions, our sin, are never enough to pull us out. Because it is God's grace that brought us in. It is God's grace that carries us through in the kingdom. And here in Galatians, Paul points to it and says, not just that we live now in Christ, that Christ lives in us, and that because we're united with the Son, we're shaped more and more into the image of children of God. He says all of those things, but he also goes to the end of the verse and says, why? Why would a great and holy God condescend to live a human life so that he could die and we could be united with him in that death? Because he loves us. Because it's in his very nature to love us and to care for us It's because of his love that he came to seek and to save the lost.